Hello everyone, I'm Lindsay with Happy Hour Stitches. I'm so excited you're joining me today as we sew to make this fabric coffee sleeve. Now this fabric coffee sleeve is so stylish, it fits a 16 fluid ounce cup and it's a great alternative to single-use cardboard sleeves. So let's get started. To make the fabric sleeve, you will need two 5 by 12 inch pieces of fabric, a 5 by 12 inch piece of batting. We're using an insulated batting called Insulate, and a prepared binding strip at least 15 inches long. You'll also need to print the fabric sleeve template from our website, a hair marker, an air-soluble marking pen, and Wonder Clips. If you visit our video description, we will have a link to a blog that gives you the materials needed for this project, the instructions, and the template for the sleeve. To start, layer whatever fabric you want on the outside of your fabric sleeve on top of your batting or insulated batting rectangle. Now we're going to quilt it as desired. I'm going to show you how I mark my quilts for quilting. So I use a hair marker and an acrylic ruler. I'm going to do a diagonal grid across here. So what I do is I align the 45-degree line on my ruler with the bottom of this layered rectangle. I'm going to take my hair marker and I'm going to just follow the ruler to mark my quilting line. Do you see? And I want to do quilting lines every 1.5 inches. So now I'm just going to align an 1.5 inch line with the line I just marked and continue this process until I have the entire rectangle marked across the rectangles. As you can see, I've used the hair marker to mark every 1.5 inches in both directions diagonally across the layered rectangles. Now let's take it to the machine and sew on the lines to quilt this rectangle. Once I've quilted the outside of my fabric sleeve, I'm going to take our printed template and center it on those layers, and then use an air-soluble marking tool to mark around the template. Now we're going to cut out on the marked lines. Once it's cut out, you're going to fold it in half with right sides together, aligning these two short straight edges. You're going to sew a 1/4 inch along that line. Now we're going to repeat this process with our second piece of fabric. So we're going to layer our template. This is just our fabric. We did not add batting to this side. And then we're going to trace around it with our marking tool. Just like before, you're going to cut out on those marked lines, fold it in half with right sides together, and sew a 1/4 inch along that straight edge. Once both your pieces are prepped, you're going to flip your quilted outside piece right side out, and then you're going to slip it inside the lining piece so that the fabrics are facing right sides together. So you're just going to perfectly align it and make sure the two side seams are touching each other. So once you have everything aligned, you're going to take it to your sewing machine and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch around the outside on the bottom. So I added some Wonder Clips along the bottom just to hold those layers in place. And then we're going to sew 1/4 inch around the bottom. Now be careful you're not sewing both sides of the layers together. So I like to sew from the inside so I can control where the rest of the fabric is going. And you want to backstitch at the beginning of your seam. stop with your needle down and adjust as needed to sew that 1/4 inch. Once you're done sewing, you're going to turn the fabric sleeve right side out. So that, and then push that lining fabric inside. You can take this over to your ironing board if you want and press that bottom to give that bottom edge a really nice flat seam. Then you can use your Wonder Clips to align this top edge, and then use your binding strip to bind that top edge. If you're a coffee, tea, or even hot chocolate lover, we hope you give this fabric coffee sleeve pattern from Happy Hour Stitches a try. Happy sewing! Cheers!